I'm working on it. I'm trying to play a free show for the scientists, something where I just go and I really want to just hang out with the scientists. So if you know anyone who's a scientist in Antarctica or anyone watching this knows anyone, tell them to reach out.
Hey friends, it's your girl, Emily Curl. Welcome back to my in-home studio. Today we have a very special guest for you. We're joined by artist Oliver Tree. Hi, Oliver, welcome.
How are you?
I'm good, how are you? It's good to see you again.
Great to see you. We got Emily Curl in the building. What's going on?
That's right. And now we got to see you in person because you were just at our iHeartRadio Jingle Ball, which we had a blast. What was that experience like for you?
It's crazy. They gave me my custom shoes. They gave me some M&Ms with my face on it. I mean, I was having the time of my life.
And that's all you need, honestly, M&Ms with your face on it.
They tasted so much sweeter.
Oh, I can't wait to talk to you about all the new music. We got a lot to dive in today. But first, I want to start because we all saw the Instagram post today. Life Goes On remix with the BTS videos, Trippie Redd, Diplo, Ski Mask the Slump God. What can you tell us about what to expect about this remix in the video?
Well, me and Cole Bennett from Lyrical Lemonade just got together. We've been wanting to work together for a few years, and we ended up finally figuring out the right project to collaborate on. It was really epic to finally get to work with him, and he's an incredible cultural curator putting together an amazing package. I brought some of my people, he brought some of his people, and we really teamed up to make something just for the culture, trying to just bring together all these different worlds and do something special. So really excited about what we did. We shot it all within, one day, but we had 2 days to plan. It was all, super shoestring budget, just trying to make something as creative as we could with as limited time. And I flew out to Miami. We were just working there and got some, great quality time, and we're hoping we do a lot more stuff, but this is kind of the entrance point to that world. So I'm really excited about what we did, and I'm hoping people are able to enjoy it or at least get a little smile out of it.
Yeah, I mean, but what a crew on set. What was the vibe like with all of those artists working together? I feel like that was probably a really fun set for you.
Let's just say a lot of drama. I filmed it behind the scenes, and I can't really talk too much about it, but I will say you will watch in this documentary I put together. And when I say documentary, I mean it's kind of short. It's only going to be anywhere from 1 hour to 2 hours.
Of
But
course.
basically, this is something that was chaos, and there was a lot of fighting, a lot of drama on set, and well, I'll let that documentary do the talking.
Also, Oliver, speaking of the drama, as we were, of course, like dissecting all the new stuff on Instagram, we also noticed that you only follow one person on Instagram,
Right.
Little Ricky. Tell us a little bit about Little Ricky. Can we expect more collabs soon?
Right now I'm not working with them as far as like Oliver Tree project goes, but Little Ricky, for those of you who are not familiar, he's the first artist I've signed to be able to kind of get behind, put under my wing, someone that I've been friends with for a long time now. I think probably the greatest artist, besides myself, of course, that I've ever had a chance to work with. I think there's a lot of incredibly talented artists that I've had the chance to kind of be building friendships and even just from afar, be able to get a chance to work or see what they do on a up close perspective. But this guy, in my opinion, is going to be the biggest superstar in the entire multiverse. I mean, I was going to say universe, but realistically, like, this guy is interdimensional, and he's literally living in his own fantasy world. But I've been helping work on his mixtape as a producer and an executive producer, kind of helping piece together his first mixtape, and then we'll be launching an album after that. But we're trying to get his deal fully fleshed out with Atlantic Records. We're trying to get him a new deal, basically, that's something right, because we thought we had kind of established a deal with them, and then kind of like some checks bounced and some stuff kind of went south with the people on the team we were assembling, and so we're kind of reformatting this whole, we're restructuring the deal and trying to get it perfect, because I want Ricky to be taken care of a lot better than I was taken care of. So I'm looking out for him, and I put him under my wing.
Well, we can't wait for all the Little Ricky stuff to come out soon. And speaking of cool collabs, I also got to ask you about the Blink-182 collab, which was amazing. I feel like that was a longtime dream of yours. What was it like working with Blink-182?
It's amazing. Travis Barker's my bro. He worked a lot with me on my next album, Cowboy Tears. We spent a lot of time together. I look up to that guy. He's definitely in some ways, I even consider him a mentor with the time we spent together. I look up to him for sure, and I can't say that about very many people. But I will say, working with Mark and him, and I've been able to meet the whole band at different points, so it wasn't all at once. But that was a really honorable thing, and I thought it was cool, specifically because that song is really like inspired by that whole pop punk movement. And to get like the godfathers of the pop punk movement to do their own version, I thought it was cool because a lot of people that were listening to that music, and obviously kids know of them, or some people do, but it's more of an older demographic. Their kids are listening to my music. So to get something that could actually bring together I would say, generational gap is pretty exciting to me, because you have, something that parents and their kids can bond over, artists that they're both either grew up with or are growing up with listening to. So I thought that was special for the pop punk genre.
Yeah, well, okay, so pop punk genre, and then we're going into a full country album with Cowboy Tears.
Right.
Your country album, your last album. Why did you want to go into the country music realm?
It's not something I picked. It's just I was living on my grandparents' ranch, and for about 6 months. And I was just out there taking care of the ranch, feeding the horses, feeding the cows every day, and just working. And I would just, at night, I would just bust out my acoustic guitar, and I was just playing these songs. And I ended up making some that I honestly consider the greatest stuff I've ever done. And I wasn't intending to do any more stuff with Atlantic Records, but, after the success of Life Goes On, they basically were able to weasel their way out of getting another album out of me. And I will say, the album was made on my own terms. I made it, and I make so much music that will never see daylight. Like this last year, made 100 songs. We'll be lucky if those 13 even come out on Cowboy Tears. We don't even have a full release date. We don't know if that's ever going to even see daylight, but I'm guessing after the success of Life Goes On, they're going to want to milk it. So, I wouldn't be surprised if we do see this album come out anywhere between the next year to 5 years. Probably, practically speaking, Ugly is Beautiful, my first album, took 5 years to come out. So my art takes a long time to see daylight. I mean, Life Goes On, I made 7 years ago. All the deluxe songs that came out about 6 months ago, those are literally 7 to 8 years old. So my stuff takes a long time to come out. And I've been working on this Cowboy Tears thing since the beginning of COVID, even pre-dating COVID. So I've been making this music for myself. And I was just, I felt this is the greatest thing I've ever made and been a part of. And so I just figured, I don't think there's any harm with giving this gift to the world. And I consider it in a lot of ways my true magnum opus.
Yeah. I mean, Life Goes On, let's talk about it for a second. It totally took over the internet. So what did you think when you first heard that this was like taking over TikTok by storm?
I didn't believe it. I was in Morocco at the time. I was working on finishing mixing and final production on my album, Cowboy Tears, in the Middle East. And basically the label called me about it, and they're like, hey, this is really happening here. And then I was like, yeah, sure, I've heard it all before, empty promises. And then they kept calling me. They're like, hey, this is really happening. You need to make sure that like you start promoting the song. And then, they basically tricked me into over promoting it, which I think actually was great for the song, but ended up, people started to really hate the song. And I think a lot of people got annoyed by it, but I think that's what it is to have a pop cultural moment. You can't escape it. And that can be quite obnoxious. And just kind of said, hey, I've been working for 10 years trying to make a moment like that happen. So why not write it out, make the most of it? And really proud with the fact that finally, this was something that was in a lot of ways, my first thing that wasn't a tremendous failure. Because I think my whole entire career has been one failure after another. So to finally have something that wasn't such a big bomb exploding in my face, I felt very, grateful that my art could finally connect with, people in the mainstream capacity and be able to make influence on a bigger scale, because I'm just born trying to inspire people and make art that can hopefully influence a generation of people, or anyone who needs a little more color in their life and lives amongst the darkness.
And people had a lot of fun with this. So we pulled a few of our favorite TikToks using your song. And so we thought we could show them to you here, and you do a little blind react. So we're going to throw them on screen and you tell us everything you think about these TikToks. Are you ready, Oliver Tree?
I love it. Let's do it. I haven't actually seen really anything besides what label sent me a couple videos, and I had a friend or two send me a video that they thought was cool, but I haven't actually seen essentially any of this stuff. So it's exciting for me to finally get a chance to deep dive into this and see what it's all about.
Oh, well, get ready, because our first one, I'm sure someone has sent you this.
Run it.
Life goes on and 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 on. On and 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 on.
I I mean, that first off, I wouldn't suggest anyone does that at home. That looks pretty dangerous. I wish that was my hand.
I was going
wish
to say,
that
would you do that? I feel like you would.
And I'm, a lot of people call me Joe Exotic now with this hairstyle and the goatee. And so I would love to do something working with tigers, working with panthers. So to tell you the truth, yeah, that would be epic. But I wouldn't suggest people go and try to do that at their local zoo.
Okay, so Oliver, let's talk about, again, you're always working. Let's show a little bit of Set Life. So this is actually your TikTok, but we wanted to talk a little bit about it. So let's go ahead and throw it up on screen.
Life goes on and 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 on.
You know this one. Okay, so first off, I can't imagine what this was like on set. What was the set day like for you? Are you okay?
I think I was up there for a total of, what did it say, 10 hours or something? What does the caption say? Because I was up there literally all day and blood was rushing to my head. I almost passed out a few different times. I think there may have been one moment where I lost consciousness. But basically, yeah, I've got a good stunt coordinator he's a good stunt coordinator. He's a horrible human. I have a lot of I was just working on a music video yesterday with him, and we had a couple. We don't see eye to eye always.
Okay, so Oliver, we have a couple more videos for you. Let's throw up our next one.
Life goes on and 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 on. On and 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 on.
First off, this is like the ultimate camper. I don't know if you can see it, but
Wow,
it's beautiful. It legit is like a home.
Oh, it's crazy. They're living large. I'll say that right now.
They are. 8 of them in there. Is that something is this kind of what your tour bus looks like? This is what I imagine.
I wish. My tour bus is not nearly as epic as that, but I will say I need to get this video sent to my tour manager because we need something like this. We'll be going on my next tour in February through March in America, and then we're taking it to South America afterwards. So I'm going to see if I can get something like this built out because I think that looks custom, if you ask me. That doesn't look like a normal setup, but I don't know where everyone else would sit. I might just have to get my own setup so I can just drive alongside the rest of the caravan.
Just let him go.
But yeah, I love this video. I love that they're traveling. I think that's probably the richest experience you can have, way beyond money. Meeting new people, seeing new parts of the world. Hopefully it's not just America, because if they are just stuck in America, I feel bad for them because no hate. But, there's a big, big world out there. I'm hoping they can take that thing on a boat, maybe go to, cross over to some other countries, other continents, because America is amazing, but it's very boring. There's a lot of crazy, crazy places out there. And hopefully these kids get a chance to see that. And if not, they're lucky to be able to explore America. I mean, it's a pretty amazing place nonetheless. But after seeing the rest of the world, I do feel like that's the richest experiences. So every chance I get, I'm trying to get out of here.
Yeah, I'm curious. What is Oliver Tree's favorite city? What's the most exciting city? What's the least boring city, I should say?
Well, I was just in Cairo. That was extremely intense. Probably one of the craziest places. I would say Bali, Indonesia is probably my favorite place I've been to. Tokyo is up there. About to hit the 6th continent in April, and then I'm trying to get to Antarctica before, I leave, get back to America. So I'm trying to hit all 7 within this year.
Oh, wow. Could you ever play a show in Antarctica?
I'm working on it. I'm trying to play a free show for the scientists, something where I just go and I really want to just hang out with the scientists. So if you know anyone who's a scientist in Antarctica or anyone watching this knows anyone, tell them to reach out to my team, find my manager's email through one of my social medias, because I'm trying to link up and play a free show for the scientists. And I have my agent working on it right now, but it's extremely complicated. And I will do it no matter what. If I live long enough, let's say I make it another year or 2, and I'm hoping I live till 100. But I will say this is really, really high on my list. And I'm planning to go there potentially after South America if I can't get a show there this year, because it's right next to South America. So I'm trying to make the rounds and hit all the continents before I turn 29 this summer.
So exciting. Oh my gosh. I'm 29 right now. It's a good age.
Amazing. Yeah, I'm excited to get the 29 club because I heard it's popping.
Okay, so Oliver, we have a couple more for you. Let's go ahead and throw up this next one.
See it. Wow. What? That is crazy. Who made this? Who made this?
Mr. Art.
Mr. Art. We need to work
Shout out to
together.
Mr. Art.
Next level. This is one of the
How
craziest
sick is this?
I've ever seen. And I've seen some other videos where artists do illustrations and it kind of keeps zooming out and showing 50 different settings and scenes going on. But this is on a whole other level. I want to work with this person. This is next level. That is beautiful. Probably one of the coolest things I've ever seen with my art as a little base off of it. I'm excited to see this. Thank you for showing me.
Love
Mr.
it.
Art, I want to make one of these with you in Antarctica.
Okay, that's what we need. Okay, so Oliver, last one for you. We'll throw it up on screen. The classic bowl cut. We had to throw this one in because you're rocking a new do right now. And I feel like it's working. I really like this new era. Tell me a little bit about this new hair you've got going on.
Well, basically, this is the bullet. It's the bowl cut mullet, and it's 360 party, so party all the time. But I will say, basically, a lot's changed since I had that haircut. I'm a new man. I've lived many lifetimes since then. I feel fortunate enough to say I made it through that era and made it out alive, because that one almost ate me up. And I feel lucky to be venturing into a new era, country era, cowboy era. And I feel like, artists that evolve and blossom into different things is just a reflection of everyone. We all do that, but the artists sometimes do it on a more extreme scale. And it's a reminder to the general public that we're always changing and evolving. And I think it's important to have an evolution of yourself, because it's one thing to grow as a person, is another thing to evolve, internally and externally. And I think the two can actually play off of each other. And I think, as people know, I kind of got stuck wearing that same outfit for, 4 years, but no hate, no regrets, because it wasn't until I made that 10th video with Life Goes On, that was the final installment of that chapter, that finally had one that wasn't a failure. So I will say I held out just long enough to make it worth my time, because I really had this kind of theory of like, you got to run it to the ground. And when you're getting sick of it, that's when people are just starting to find out about it. And that was the reality. I had a pretty spot on idea of what was going on there. I just wanted to wear that outfit. I loved it. And it just started to get really stinky. And so there was a certain point where I was like, all right, there's holes all in this thing and it smells awful. And yeah, obviously I tried to get it clean, but there was only one of the actual OG jacket and the pants. So it was something that really just became a little bit too stinky. People around me were starting to say things. People were noticing things. They started acting differently. And when people start moving away from you when you enter the room, that's when you know there's a problem.
Yeah, and that's that self-awareness, I think, is key. It's great.
So too.
When you think about this next era of Oliver Tree, if you could describe it to your fans in maybe one sentence, what would it be?
I'm making a country music for people who don't like country. I'll say that right now. I'm trying to flip the idea of what it is, the genre itself. I'm trying to make country music for people who do love country as well. I'm trying to make something for everybody, but I'm going to say, and I want to destroy boundaries and preconceived notions of what things are. And I realistically want to make a new take on the classic American story of the cowboy. It's part of my roots, my heritage. My grandfather was a cowboy. His father was a cowboy. His father was a cowboy. So this is just getting in touch with my roots and my family, and making something authentic to myself, and not making something that is, trying to rip off other things that aren't true to my origin story. So getting in touch with my roots and my heritage, and then realistically trying to do this classic age-old story of the cowboy thing, but trying to make my attempt of an absurdist, surrealist cowboy unlike anything we've really seen before. And not to say I'm going to reinvent the wheel, but I'm adding in some new pieces to the puzzle and trying to contribute some new ideas to what it is to be a cowboy, and put my spin on it and make something that pulls from all the best stuff that I loved and that people loved me for on the last album, and bring it to a new level. And it's not about, getting caught in a box. It's about neatly packaging a box and then building a new box. And that's what I've done here. So I'm very excited about the art, first and foremost, the music, and filming some really crazy music videos. And I hope that, people could love it even a small fraction as much as I love it.
I mean, it's crazy, Oliver, because I feel like, okay, Cowboy Tears, the album, you're going on tour, you're filming like 20 documentaries, and then your graphics novel. Oliver, how do you do it all? How do you have time?
Well, I really, honestly, if you want to know the truth, and this is not something I suggest to people, but I slept 3 hours last night. I literally slept 2 hours the night before. There was a few nights where I slept 1 hour, and this is not something I suggest. I think I'm aging more rapidly, but I will say, while I'm young enough, and I'm not young by any means anymore, I'm getting up there, but I will say, I really have been functioning on very little sleep, and I've been sober for the last 6 months. So that's a big thing. I think I thought weed would make me, I could stay up later, because for me, it didn't make me tired, but I realized that I'm just really high strung person. So I'm learning how to just maximize on my time. Every time I have to go out to take a smoke break, that was just slowing me down. And so I found that being sober, having a really effective team and a lot of collaborators. I work with so many different people, and I get to be behind the vision and see the vision in my head, and then really be a good communicator with the collaborators to try to communicate what that is and try to execute it on a big scale with the army of people. Last night's film set had, upwards of 60 people on that shoot. And it's like, I can't take credit for anything, but I was the guy who has the vision, and I am the guy with the work ethic who was willing to show up and do it. But I would not be able to do any of this without a ton of people. So big collaborator. And I love working with artists of all different types, mediums, genres. I love to make art, and I'm addicted. And I switched my drug addiction. I was addicted to hard drugs in high school. And then I was able to kind of get into just like weed and chill more for the next 8 years or whatever. And then like this year I was just like, I need to like reach my next level, my full potential. And so I've been sober. And when you're an addict and dealing with addiction, what happens is you move the addiction to something else. So it kind of jumps to something else. But it's about finding healthy addictions and things that are going to be hopefully making the world a better place and not making it, bringing darkness to other people. So I think what I found is other ways to channel my addiction into something much more beautiful, and hopefully something that the world can just be a little more beautiful for.
Yeah. Wow, Oliver, that really was beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. And again, congratulations on everything that's happening in your life. We're so excited for the new music and for the tour. When did tickets go on sale? Where can we buy it? Where can I see it?
In America right now, they're selling out fast. A handful of shows have already sold out, but a lot of them are at really low ticket warning. So if you want to see the show, it's going to be everything from, scooter stunts to I do belly dancing routines. We got WWF wrestling. We got performance art, comedy, but obviously we have every type of music genre, from, dance music to rock music to hip hop, country. We got it all, everything. We got something for everybody. So come on down. We got little kids there. We got grandmothers there with bowl cuts. We got literally everyone in between. So something for everyone. Bring the family. It's going to be legendary. And this is officially going to be my last tour ever across at least the US. There may be some shows that kind of carry through the next year through the world tour, but I am segueing over to making films as a writer-director. Wrote these 2 screenplays over COVID, so I need to focus in on those things, and it's kind of the end of an era. So if you want to see the show, this is it.
Oliver Tree, thank you so much again for being here. We're so excited for you, and congratulations again.
Thanks for having me. Hope you have an amazing holidays.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. Did you like that video? You can check out more over here. And don't forget to subscribe to iHeart right here. And if you're already a longtime fan, make sure you ring the bell down below so you don't miss a single video. Bye guys.